What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James. ReadoptionAgency.com, 22 years selling full-time on eBay. And this has been the most confusing fourth quarter ever. We're down 3.5% from November. And we're December 1st today. So, would have never predicted. The fourth quarter of 2023 would be absolutely shot like no other. So let's see. Yesterday ended with $579. So at least made it to my low goal. We're going on 7 a.m. right now. The washer people had to reschedule for this morning. So, and then Jan got up early because she has a long day and she had to drive about an hour away. So, Courtney got up. Like, I can sleep through almost anything except the fan going off or Courtney waking up and moving. Like, nothing else will wake me up except those two things. Well, I'm sure there's others, but I don't want to experience those other ones because those are probably bad. Somebody breaking into the house, a severe earthquake, a tornado. But so when I got up, I had 0 sales in the first 4 hours and 45 minutes of the day. While I was pulling, I did have a sale. So at 7 a.m., I'm at $32. Curious to see my traffic split because most of the day yesterday I only had 1 organic sale. 34 items sold yesterday, 29 promoted, 5 organic. So you know what was one thing I'm not a fan of with this new search on eBay is the word the. Like, I put up that color field cassette and I usually don't put the word the in those because usually it's like, well, why would you really need to? So if somebody puts in the color field, mine won't come up just because I did not put the word the in the title. So something as simple as the word the can dictate how your item's going to show up in search. And the is one of those things that can be dropped off. It's not that necessary, especially for something like that. So I'm not a fan of that. So I went in and added the word the back in just in case if anybody wanted to search the color field, then mine would come up. So it's almost like every single word matters now, even the word the. Because you would think if you just put color field that yours would come up because you have color field in your title. But the fact that they put the in put the in the search engine, yours won't come up. To me, that's a flaw. That shouldn't be like that. The word, even if you don't type the word the in, whether you type it in or not, if you have color field, your color field should come up. Especially when there's only a handful anyway. It's not like it's overwhelmed. There's just a handful. So that's a huge flaw, in my opinion, on the search also. So this morning, 1 item sold, promoted, of course. Oh, I wanted to update you guys on promoting outside of eBay. So the new beta testing of the off-site ad promoting. So right now I've got 10 items sold. And what that is items showing up in Google, on Google Shopping, basically. So 433 clicks, 10 items sold, sales $167.27 I got from Google. Total ad fees at the moment, $40.51. So sales conversion rate at 2.31. Yesterday I was at the same numbers, but of course the ad fees were lower because it's a pay-per-click. And my sales conversion rate was like over 3. So we'll see if anything sells today. Yesterday had 59 clicks off of Google. So I always knew I was getting sales from Google. So that's another thing that's taken our sales down, is people searching on Google, because eBay's not pushing the items out there anymore. We have to do it ourselves if we want to. But what kind of stinks is, I guess, let me look at you would think the number of items sold would go up a little. I guess technically it has. Because instead of hanging around the mid-20s, well, not really. It's still about the same. 34, 30, 20, 52, 31, 64. A couple of days have gone up. I guess before I was hanging 29 to 35. Still there, technically. So you would think that the number of items would grow, especially in the fourth quarter. So just everything that's going on doesn't make sense to me right now. It's just so opposite of what used to be, right? So it's just trying to get a handle and a grip on what the hell's going on and trying to adjust. But then, like I was saying yesterday, it's hard to really figure it out and adjust if you have factors in it that change daily, i.e. problems with the website, weird things like the search. Is that a permanent thing? Is this AI learning and then eventually that won't be a thing? It's like, it's really hard to wrap your head around. The change has been so drastic. So just trying to figure it all out, it's kind of just overwhelming. That's why I'm just kind of, don't pay attention, just list. And when little things like the offsite ads thing pops up, try it and see what happens. So, I don't know. It's a weird time we're in compared to 21 years prior. Weird times, I say. Let's do some questions and comments. When I search the color field cassette without quotes, yours comes up, but it's close to halfway down the page. That's not using the US only filter or the words self-titled in the title, which I think is the way most people are likely to search. The first listing that comes up in the search is sponsored. Just my 2 cents, edited since I spelled color wrong the first time. Results look pretty much the same, spelled color or color. Which you would expect, because that's the way it used to be. But the word the in there is kind of just weird, whether it's there or not. We can chalk the overreaction to conditioned response. We can chalk, I'm not sure what that is. When I worked for a living, we would get bad parts and send them back so often that occasionally we'd send parts back that would turn out to be fine. Turns out they weren't going together because of different issues. Well, the machinist would get all but hurt, but I'm not sure exactly what this is speaking to. eBay caused this overreaction with their horrible policies. I'm sorry, I can't remember what I might have said that's blending this together. Next response is fake. Response to one of my vinyl yard sale videos over the summer when I was doing a flip video of those records that I paid $1 for. They put fake in the comments. I guess they didn't watch the actual me at the yard sale finding those items. I should put the link below their response so they'll go watch that one too. Watch my videos. Cryptor Child Hat. Love your humor today. All we have to think is eBay always has their best interest in mind before sellers. They have the perfect scam and it works. Seller versus seller promoted listing battle. Throttle sellers until they promote to their liking. It's a different world. Haven't sold anything in 12 days. 2 offers in the same time period, 0 watchers. I lowered my promotion ad from 15 to 8. Couldn't take that eBay is making more of a sale than I was. Yeah, it's a very hard pill to swallow when you're promoting at what you feel is a high rate and yet you're still not seeing a difference. It's a hard pill. So it looked like sales and stuff turned off about 2 a.m. last night for me. That'd be 12 eBay time. And I've had no offers since then. We were at 7:06, and I've had that one sale that just came through. So and that I always notice when I take offers, like I had offers before the 2 a.m. that I took this morning. Once I start doing that, then it like jolts something, and then that item sold. So it always feels that way. Is like when I'm taking 4 or 5 offers, then I'll get a sale on top of taking those 4 or 5 offers. So it makes you wonder, like with this new algorithm stuff, being that I'm getting nothing overnight, is this new algorithm set up in a way to, damn, Apple's updating again? They just updated a couple of nights ago. Makes you wonder if it has anything to do with activity in your account. Does that have anything to do with, you would think no, but I'm just throwing out another theory, the fact that I get nothing overnight compared to I used to get $200 in sales overnight. I mean, you would think you wouldn't have to because you promote. Promote is activity. Your items are being promoted. But who knows? It's a crazy world. I was wondering what happened to your second ball. I believe it's being done on purpose. You are not sleeping. I can see it in your eyes. Yeah, yesterday was hard because I couldn't sleep last night or the night before because of sinus pressure. I slept all through the night last night, so that was good. I did a sinus rinse before I went to bed too, so I'm going to make sure I do another one tonight before I go to bed. It's to the point if I want comps, I go through Google Lens to find it. Works great. Yeah, I do for the most part if it's something I don't recognize, or if it's like a small toy or something that'd be a pain to type in, I will use the Google Lens and go that route. I think buyers are unlikely to dig so deep to find an item to buy. I believe that too, and there's a subset. There's different types of buyers, but a lot of them are just, I want it now, easiest way possible. And that's the one thing that eBay's kind of taken, like I've said, has gotten rid of, is the impulse buyers. The impulse buyers are gone, which, that's a huge percentage, especially when it comes to the younger generations. They want it the quickest way possible, right? So it's pushing out, I believe, a lot of buyers. And it's almost like they're trying to appease those types of buyers, but they're failing miserably. Feels like they're trying to change the thing so it works that way, but it's not working that way. You're getting actually worse results than you used to. If it doesn't show up in the first attempt, they will likely move on. And most of people are not they're not searching eBay, they're just searching Google. They're just typing in their search engine, going, and then whatever pops up, that's where they go. I think eBay, I'm curious to see with eBay dumping Google and that we individually have to do it. Not everybody's going to do it. So as I was talking before, what's going to be the differentiating point for how much they were spending on Google, eBay, them as being eBay, compared to the sales they used to get in, to the fact that they're not pushing that anymore, we have to. And then does the sales coming in from us doing it plus the fees that they're not paying and the fees that we are now, are they going to be equivalent? Are they going to be way down? Or is it going to look positive for eBay? So I'm curious to see what that angle is going to look like. From the outside looking in, without very much knowledge, it looks like it would probably hurt them more than help them. But like I said, it almost feels like eBay don't care about that anymore. It's about getting the most out of the one item that sells, even if they have to not promote 10 others or not put money into 10 other items. Instead of getting 10 items at, I'm just making this easy. Instead of selling 10 items and getting 20%, they'd rather sell one item and get 20% or 40%. That's what it should be. So instead of selling 10 items and getting 20%, they want to sell one item and get 40%. And that's what they're concentrating on in hopes that that formula will grow over time. And then they'll eventually get 10 items at 40%, where they were getting before 10 items at 20%. But I don't think it's ever going to catch up to that. But what is that number to equal that 10 at 20? Is it 5 at 40? And then if so, they're probably still banking better. So I think that's kind of the viewpoint they're going for, which in the end hurts us in more ways than one. If our item does sell, we're giving more away. And then there's 5 more people who are not getting pushed, who are losing sales. If that makes sense to you. So in the end, the seller's losing double, basically. We're losing in 2 different ways by this one decision. I have searched the same item several times in a row and came up with different results without changing anything. I've seen it happen. Seems like they are grouping everyone in alternative universes. Each buyer sees only listings allotted in their universe. So now my goal, and without trying to overwhelm myself, is figure out how to get into everybody's universe. How do I beat that algorithm, AI, whatever, and put my items in everybody's universe? Is there even a way? So that's, trying to figure it out. When I say that, I have an open mind about it. So I'm just trying to look at it from every different angle and go, okay, what, like with the word the, from now on, I'm putting the word the in everything. So that's a change. So what else changes can I make? Because if somebody's looking for the blank, 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 my stuff's not going to come up because I've always left the more times than not out of my listing. So now anybody who searches the word the, my stuff's not coming up. So the word the is all of a sudden important now. And there's probably 40,000 of my 52,000 listings that could have put the word the in, but didn't. And don't even get me started on and the and sign. Do we start putting both A-N-D and the and sign in the title? So I'm looking for ideas like that to try to come up better in search. So if I have to put the word and the and sign in the title, I will start doing that. I haven't played with it too much recently, but before it used to make a difference. Not before, but within the last couple of months. I would search something with the word and, because I remember, actually it's been a little bit more than 2 months, because I remember one of the times I called in, that was one of the things on my list. I go, why is the word and, if you type that in, stuff with the and sign's not coming up, and if you type the word with the and sign, the word and is not coming up. Why is that? They should be messaged into the same thing. So I haven't checked since, I guess that's been several months, because it's been several months since I called in anything, because it's pointless nowadays. So I haven't checked recently to see if there's different results. So I'm looking at different things like that. What's going to make a difference to make my items, and then of course me feeding you that information, your items, coming up better in search. And the word the is going to be the first one I'm going to say. Put the in your title. If it's there somewhere, hell, maybe I should put it in everything. I sold the Silicon Valley football hat. Maybe I should put the Silicon Valley football hat. So anytime somebody types in the football, for whatever reason, my item's going to come up. The Valley, my item's going to come up. If they just typed in the Valley, my hat may not come up. But if they put in the Valley, my hat might come up. I'm going to test that one today. I got to remember that. 22 minutes in. So if I have to remember if I forget what I said, remember 22 minutes, James, and you can go back and check your video. So maybe I'll check that today. Maybe I'll play with that and see if there's anything to that. But trying to find different, if that works, that the could technically be a hack to get your items to show better in search, or show more often, or who knows. So trying to find those little things like that to make the search engine work more to our benefit. But then again, if it's an AI learning tool and it's always going to vary and change, what may be today may not be tomorrow. That's when I say there's too many different changing variables right now to really pinpoint anything down. And anything that I think of might just be spinning my wheels, and maybe I should just wait till the dust settles. All right, let's get to shipping this stuff. I got a couple of Poshmark orders. All right, first up on Posh, and they both sold for $12. $12 a piece anyway. First up, we've got Monster Energy hat. Headed to Raleigh, North Carolina. And going to Pensacola, Florida, we got a Simply Southern. Teachers plant seeds that grow forever. that's a statement for today with all the weird stuff you hear going on in schools and that. I think like today, if my kids were in school today, I'd probably be a lot more curious as to what's going on in the classroom than I had to be before. Purchase shipping labels. I saw a post on Facebook. I didn't respond, but I started to. And it said, it was like one of those Earth pages or nature, or just like positive Earth vibes or something weird, right? And it said, if you could delete one thing from the Earth, what would it be? And people were putting all these things in there. And I'm going through it and saying, okay, I don't see my answer. I don't see my answer. I don't see my answer. And so I started typing. I'm like, no, just stay out of it, James. I started to type humans. Because they are the only things that's, if it wasn't for humans, the planet would be 100% fine. Not that humans, could be the most intelligent creature, but yet the dumbest. The brain is a very volatile, is that a right word? I don't know. The human, it's fascinating to me. It's just fascinating. Like how so many certain people can be one way or the other. And it's all about the information that they've been fed, right? Like, because nobody has 100% of all the information. I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm just saying it feels like the majority of the loudest people are like that. Like normally the people who are kind of in the middle on any subject because they know a nice broad spectrum about a subject usually are not the ones who are the quietest, who, hey, I know it, this is my thought, I could debate you and prove you both wrong, so I'm just not going to say anything type of thing, right? The power of social media these days is just, it's scary. It's cool, but it's scary. Like, just the fact that everybody has a voice, but yet somehow it comes with a little bit of a power, and even if they're wrong, can change things. Because it could sway more people who don't understand that something is wrong because of X, Y, or Z, but they're missing the X, Y, and Z. If that makes sense. Oh, it's just weird. Anyway, Soup Dragon's Pleasure cassette single. Headed to Kenwood, California, sold for $4. Took an offer on that. Anything $4 and higher, I'm taking. I'm just like, sale, give me. I often wonder at what point will the internet chill, if you will. Like the supposedly reporter who wrote the piece on the little boy at a Chiefs game because he face painted. That almost feels like a new low. So how low do we have to go for it to be so ridiculous that people stop giving it the attention that it is giving it now, or gave it yesterday? You know what I mean? At what point do people just say, that's the internet world, that's not the real world? When will that grow into more, If somebody came up to me right now and said something about something was said on Twitter or wherever, a news, online news, whatever, I'd be going, sorry, I live in the real world. That's going to be my response. I don't live in your make-believe internet world. I live in the real world. So at what point does that balance start to balance out? The, don't believe everything you read type of thing. I believe nothing I hear and only half of what I see. What's this? Here's a CD going to Mexico. I got Mexico blocked. So one came through with Chile yesterday. I have Chile blocked. Now one came through Mexico and I got Mexico blocked. Because nothing ever, the last probably like 5 or 6 items I sent to Mexico never made it. Alrighty. And why is it not, why does it not want to combine these two orders? They're the same. Same address. Is it they use the same user ID? Where is it at? I don't even see the user ID. They must have, it looks like they bought an item and then they changed their address, but the only way they changed it is they put an uppercase for the town they lived in, Loveland, Colorado. It's the first one, the L is not capitalized. The second one, the L is capitalized. So since they went in and changed the address, I guess, to uppercase that, it's not going to combine them into one order. Yes, no? Okay. I can put them in the same one and then go in and then manually put the barcode in. So I can still do it, but all right, we got Mannheim Steamroller Christmas cassette and Christmas collection cassette. They both sold for $9.95 a piece. So 2 more. These are definitely items I would have had at $4.19, and they sold at $9.95 a piece. It's weird, like yesterday and I guess overnight, it seems like it's like mostly media selling. It's almost like that shift I talked about before where you sell like in one certain category and another one disappears. It seems like there's been a shift to media for some reason or another. I'm not sure why. I was running my media or my $9.95 and lowers at a couple percentage points, promoting them a couple percentages lower than everything else. But then the other day when I had that very bad day, I took that one and upped it and evened it out. So maybe that has to do with it. I raised it a couple of percentages and now it's even, say, with the hats that are at $15. Because I'm like, the items are $9.95 now anyway, so if I throw it up a couple of percentages, it's not going to matter. So let me take that one out. That'd be Mannheim Steamroller. Then I'll have to come back in and put this tracking number for Cynthia. Manually enter it. Next up, we got a CD, promo CD single. Amos Lee, sold for $20, headed to Birmingham, Alabama. Thomas. Invent a marker that doesn't dry out if you leave the cap off. I wonder if there's anything out there like that. Silicon Valley Football Classic. So I think that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to find a hat that I'm going to list that doesn't have the word "the" in it, but has a lot of various words in it. Something like Silicon Valley Football Classic. And I'm going to put "the" in the title, and I'm going to see when it comes to search what makes that hat come up. Because I'll put "the" in every damn thing if it's going to make my stuff be seen better. I'll also test putting the word "the" in the description and or item specifics. See if the word "the" matters. I'm onto something, maybe. Joe. I'm onto something. Wonder how many people actually type the word "the" into a search engine. All right, this item I got in the Smoky Mountains at a little thrift store. Got it the last minute walking out. I saw it in the case. I bought a bunch of, they had clothes, some t-shirts, 5 for $1. Or no, it was 10 for $1. No, it was 5 for $1. I think it was 5 for $1. Yes, I think, maybe. Something like that. Anyway, but then that's where I bought the couple of jackets for $10 a piece. The vintage Reebok women's jacket and that Eddie Bauer EbTech. Is that what it's called? Jacket. And then I got a bunch of other shirts there. Those Pigeon Forge polo shirts. So in the case, this was sitting in the case on my way out. It had like $3 on it. So I'm like, just give me that too. And it sold for $15. You ever work when I do that? Right. Next up, we got these women's high heels, Bamboo brand name. Some snakeskin looking high heels. These sold for $17, headed to Wooddale, Illinois. Fit in here. Oh, yes, you will. I'll put one of you inside here. Actually, I'll put both of you in one. How about that? So you don't get scraped up. Do some people hold eBay sales a little too prestigious? Like Josh had talked about the way a box was folded, not being acceptable and stuff. But putting it in a bag like this be acceptable. See, to me, of course it would. It's eBay. You're recycling, reusing stuff. So, you know, for me, that's what eBay's always been about. That's kind of like the name of my store, Redoption Agency. About reusing things. I mean, I've never had no complaints. Some conversations seem like they just go a little too far off the rail. Like sometimes it feels like, and I'm not saying this just about Josh, I'm just saying that it seems like there's a lot of people who, maybe not even a lot, just some I've noticed. I have to watch what I say because somebody's going to pick it apart. But it's more about, okay, I got to create a video. I got to create content, so I've got to have something to talk about. Like with mine, I'm just, whatever pops in my head, I'm going to talk about. It may help you today. It may not. I don't feel like I have to find something. I think these videos got a lot easier for me when I realized I don't have to find anything to talk about. You know what? Some of you just play this in the background and listen to me say whatever. And I've gotten plenty of comments about just the life stuff I talk about, just as much as the reselling stuff. So it doesn't have to be geared toward one thing just to have a subject to talk about. Because that's when I feel it gets kind of maybe non-authentic. Kind of gets, some things will get blown out of proportion. And like the other day, the whole BBE thing that had nothing to do with us, it all of a sudden blew up, and bad on me for falling into it and not doing my research. I blame me for that 100%. But the fact that, and that might be a little bit of a different example, but it's almost like, ooh, content, make a video. Or I got to make a video. What's going to be my content? Where me, I just prefer to hit record and just whatever. Carmen, I surrender all cassette tape. Sold for $7.70. Headed to Pennsylvania. So I'm saying I probably had some videos that were kind of off the rail because maybe I was thinking that way, as opposed to just saying record and see what happens. And the last US item is Lucky No Time for Love CD. Headed to Honolulu, Hawaii, sold for $5. That's probably going to be cheaper media mail. We haven't sold nothing, have we? Since the video started. Nope. What that looks like. It's 7:40. They're supposed to be here anywhere from 8 to 12, so I'm trying to get this done. I got 2 more items here. Get to the post office with the quickness. You're supposed to call before they do, so should have plenty of time to either get back or say, hey, I'll be there when I get there. Just wait for me. Oh, Cynthia, I need your package. All right, add tracking. There we go. Why is that taking so long? All right, onward to pirate ship. I guess the printout didn't work last night, or he forgot, one of the two. Okay, we have La Copa de la Vida CD. This is the one headed to Mexico. Oh, finally. An 8-track for $9. Still another media one. Okay, CD. And that sold for $12.99, that CD did. I better start looking for another scale here. It's becoming a pain in the booty hole. And then the one that sold this morning was for a PC, old PC. Welcome to NASA's Earth Science Enterprise. I bought this in 05 for $1. Guess it was one of the batches I bought out from Warehouse Music, which you can see right there, Warehouse Music tab. So I took a picture with the with all those on it, so I'm leaving them all on it because that's what they're getting. So some people, if it's just to collect, they don't mind all these stickers, because especially if it's like especially a store sticker. But that's sold for, oh, it sold for $5.90. Why the hell did they pay $25 shipping? Why would it come up like that? sell similar. Maybe this is one. Oh, that's right. I've got small toy, and so PC and video games can't go as media mail, so I put them under small toy. And I didn't even think to realize that my small toy international shipping is $20. Because sometimes the small toy will be $20 to ship internationally. So I need to rethink my video game and PC games shipping. CD I took an offer for this morning, paid $5 for. Good rates. So this is going to Italy. $5.90. And you want a code. Whoops. I love how people will take something that I say and try to turn it into something that they believe. I get a kick out of that. Like when I was talking about a cubicle thing yesterday. Somebody said, so anybody who works in a cubicle doesn't think? I'm like, huh? Like, you spin it any way you want to there, buddy. Whatever you believe, go for it. If you think that's what I said, you be you. Alrighty then. That's one thing that kind of falls into the whole internet thing nowadays is people. Well, one, I believe you shouldn't speak on something you know nothing about or somebody you know nothing about, right? Or very little about. And then two, 9 times out of 10, I believe people are portraying what they feel and their belief and their think is on somebody else. Like if somebody would say I was XYZ for whatever reason because they took something I said and wanted to believe it was because they think I'm XYZ, when in reality, they're the ones who are XYZ because that's the way they viewed it. They pulled it out of there, so their thinking was that way. But they're trying to, instead of accepting that that's the way they're thinking, try to say, hey, that's who you are. Does that make sense? Like if somebody pulls something out of the blue of what you said and said, oh, that's kind of racist, when it was nowhere near or even intentional. That's the key word there, intentional. To be like that you're actually projecting your feelings and your thoughts and your emotions and your way of thinking onto a subject matter. Because why would you think that? That don't make sense to me. But you're thinking it. So technically, you're probably the one who would be the racist because you're the one that pulled that viewpoint out of that statement. You know what I mean? But people don't realize that when they do things like that, it tells more about who they are as a person than the person that they're attacking. So I think once that generation grows up a little bit more and starts realizing that, then maybe that's when we'll get a die down of the whole thing I was just talking about. Maybe that's what it will take for that generation to actually grow up a little bit, to get some experience in their life, to realize, hey, it's me. But then a lot of people still won't take accountability for themselves anyway. But all right, that's all. I gotta get to the post office so I can get back here. And thanks everybody for hanging out. I will see you all in the next video. Later.